it's safe, completely empty.
Are you sure there's no bug-eyed robots or monsters hiding inside the walls, Doctor?
Yes, Chesterton. I'm absolutely positive this place is safe.
It's Chesterton, Doctor. I'm pretty sure you're just getting his name wrong to annoy him.
Oh, he most certainly is, but don't worry, Ian. He only does that to people he likes.
Where are we anyway? Past or future? Earth or alien planet?
I believe we're in the year 3001 on Earth.
Oh, I think I know where we are. How exciting. Are we, Grandfather?
Yes, Susan. We are in Atlantis. It's just a legend!
All legends tend to be somewhat true, Chesterton, in one way or another.
But it's just an underwater city. How do you two know it's Atlantis?
Because we've been here before. It was one of the first places Grandfather took me after we left Gallup.
Yes, Susan. We spent a lovely week here with the Atlanteans. Absolutely remarkable people.
So are underwater cities the new normal in the 31st century?
Very much so. Earth became overpopulated, and so it was forced to create an underwater city, the real Atlantis.
Let me guess. By 4001, we'll have cities in the sky.
Of course not, Chesterton. Sky cities were already established by the 24th century.
Oh yes. Silly me. Of course they are.
Come along, my friends, we must get to City Hall. If I recall, Susan and I left him waiting after dessert. We must not keep him waiting.
Mr. and Miss Foreman, how on earth did you leave City Hall? Out the window?
Ah, yes. Me and Miss Foreman here went out the window to fetch our friends Ian and Barbara. Now, if you would let us back in again,
Of course, sir. Ah, Mr. and Miss Foreman. That was awfully fast.
Fast, eh?
Why, you and Miss Foreman only just left 30 seconds ago to go to the restrooms.
Ah, yes. Well, I'm afraid that was a little lie. Me and Susan went to get our friends Ian and Barbara. Mr. Chesterton and Miss Wright. This is Mayor Ernest of Atlantis.
But any friend of the Foreman's is a friend of mine. Come, join us for dessert. Now, as I was saying, Mr. Foreman, these incidents are becoming a concern for the community. Would you consider investigating these matters?
Eh, what incidents, my dear fellow? You'll have to refresh my memory. It's not what it used to be.
The water explosions. They just keep happening out of nowhere. They've destroyed several buildings and homes. My investigators have no clue what's happening. You mentioned, Mr. Foreman, that you are an expert on strange occurrences. Will you help the city of Atlantis to solve this mystery?
I gladly help you.
Splendid! Peter, escort Mr. Foreman to the Chapel of Water Lilies. That is where the latest explosion occurred.
Very well. Chesterton, why don't you come along with me and we'll let the ladies enjoy the rest of the desert?
If you excuse me, ladies, I must attend to some important business. Please feel free to enjoy the rest of dessert without me.
been meaning to ask you something.
What is it, Barbara?
When you were explaining to us that you and the doctor were here before, you were about to mention the planet you left, but the doctor didn't let you finish what you were about to say. Why is that?
Grandfather doesn't really like talking about our home planet. I think he worries that if we talk about it, they'll come for us.
Who, Susan?
I've probably said too much. Grandfather would be furious if he found out I told you. But you and Ian have nothing to worry about. Best to leave it there.
Take a look at this, Chesterton.
Hard to believe water caused this and not a bomb.
Yes, very much indeed. Tell me, young Peter, was the piping the suspected reason for the explosions?
No, Mr. Foreman. The piping is perfectly fine.
So if it wasn't the piping, where did the water come from? I wonder.
Why, I have never had such wonderful sweets in all my life.
You should have been here for dinner. I can still taste the chicken.
This is our Atlantis. You are false Atlantis. Evil Berry.
What's going on, ladies? Is everything alright?
There was this terrible-looking waterman.
Waterman?
Yes, he said that we weren't welcome here, that we were false Atlanteans, and that if we didn't leave, we would perish.
It must have been some kind of prank.
I'm a high school teacher. I know a prank when I see one, and that was most certainly not a prank.
Well, Barbara, we are in the 31st century. Pranks are probably more advanced and different.
Charles, go look for the hoodlum who did this. Will do, sir. Why are you examining the debris? Shouldn't you be taking a look at the piping or where the water came from or something?
In my experience, Chesterfield, one must investigate what others find ordinary than the obvious subjects.
Sure. That makes sense.
This is our Atlantis. You are false Atlantis. Evil Berry.
Well, that was very interesting.
I suppose anything that's threatening is interesting to you, Doctor. Is everything alright, gentlemen? Yes, if a man made of water is alright down here. That's strange. I've just received a report from City Hall that a water figure appeared in front of your friends and threatened them.
Now that is interesting. Remarkable! Your water figure has cited the exact warning I said.
But the question is, are they the same water figure, or are they more?
I don't care. Why don't we just leave? Can't the TARDIS take us somewhere relaxing for once?
No, Susan, we can't leave Atlantis with the crisis unresolved.
This is not Atlantis.
What do you mean by this is not Atlantis?
Atlantis fell thousands of years ago.
No, that can't be true. The real Atlantis was a legend, a myth, a fairy tale.
This Atlantis is false. You are false. You desecrate our great city and people.
Now calm down, my dear fellow. You're telling us that the original Atlantis stood beneath this new city?
Yes, although we did not live below the water, our city stood above it. until the great part is hidden, drowned us.
Those Olympians always so full of themselves and uptight.
Doctor, you're not saying the great gods are real, are you?
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Chatterton. Of course not. But some of them are. Now, who are you, my dear fellow?
I am the spirit of all Atlanteans. Every Atlantean who perished that day is speaking to you now.
By George, you are all telling the truth. Are you responsible for these explosions in my city?
This is not your city. Leave now or perish like we did.
Oh, my dear Mayor Ernest, why did you have to go and do that? We were just getting through with them!
I don't care, Mr. Foreman. This terrorist must be dealt with, not reasoned with.
Why, its toe isn't even severed. It looks as if it's been disconnected from the owner's foot.
Doesn't it look wet to you, Doctor?
Ah, yes, very good, Chesterton. It is wet.
Where on earth is this leading to?
It means that our so-called spirit of Atlantis is merely just a man.
A man who can transform into water? What is this? Science fiction?
Be more open-minded, my dear fellow. It appears that our waterman turned back to human as soon as he went through the floor. So perhaps whoever below us is our man. My dear gentlemen, I must humbly request that you both take off your shoes.
I'm sorry, sir. What on earth for? Just do what Mr. Foreman says.
I believe this belongs to you, dear Peter.
But how? And more to the point, why?
I am the last true descendant of the true Atlantis. You people disrespect my ancestors. I tried warning you all, but you just wouldn't listen. What's happening?
I'm afraid Peter is destroying Atlantis. Mayor Ernest, you must evacuate the city!
Can't we do something, Doctor?
I'm afraid not. Peter's powers and decisions are far beyond our control. Atlantis must fall again!
I didn't want this to happen. I warned you all.
May I ask how you received your water ability, my dear boy?
It was granted to my family by Poseidon, right after Atlantis fell, to protect and make sure our legacy was not desecrated.
Then why did the old fool destroy the city, eh?
We do not question the gods.
Oh, yes. Well, we'll be off now. Good day to you.
Do not question the gods. Well, that always seems like the answer to everything.
Why didn't Peter, or whoever was guarding the fallen city, prevent the construction of a new city?
Oh, who knows, Barbara? There's always a story behind everything.
Shouldn't we try to go back and stop Peter, though?
The boy didn't sink the city until everyone left it, so I don't think the boy means harm. So, where to next, everyone?
Please let it be a Hawaiian beach.